Go ahead.
When we left off, I was asking some questions about the interview with hard copy. Did that interview finally take place?
Yes.
Did you actually watch it on television when it was screened?
No.
Can you turn your microphone on?
I asked you about the interview with hard copy. You finally did that interview, did you not?
Yes.
Did you watch it on television when it was screened?
No.
Have you ever watched it?
No. I watch a little bit, you know, when I.
Did you receive $20,000?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if your friend Evangeline got any money?
She didn't get any money from them, no. I gave her some money.
Was that interview with hard copy before or after your interview with the sheriff's detectives?
After.
Was it before or after your deposition with Larry Feldman and Johnny Cochran?
Oh, before.
It was before the deposition?
Yes.
Do you remember being asked some questions about the hard copy?
Yes.
Interview during that deposition?
Yes.
Did Mr. Jackson ever have a nickname for your son, for Jason, that he used?
Objection. Foundation.
Sustained.
Did you ever hear Mr. Jackson call your son by a name other than Jason, his real name?
Yes.
What name was that?
Rubba.
Rubba, R-U-B-B-A, do you think?
I think.
Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear him call other kids, Rubba?
Yes.
Did he call Wade Robson, Rubba?
Yes.
Did he call Macaulay Culkin, Rubba?
Yeah.
Did you ever receive any gifts from Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
What kind of gifts did you receive from him?
I don't remember, they were a lot.
Do you remember any of them?
He told me to get whatever I want, you know, like promotional things that he'll get from the companies, or toys for my son.
Do you mean if he had them in his possession?
Yeah, he will buy little stuff for me, too.
And he would give them to you?
Yeah.
Did he ever give you any furniture?
Yeah.
What kind of furniture?
I remember one time he had a table in the attic, and he say he doesn't want it there. And I asked him if I could take it, and he said, yeah, sure. Take it.
The attic where?
The attic at Havenhurst.
At Havenhurst?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
When I first started there, to work there.
So, 86?
Yeah.
Alright. Any other things that you can remember that he gave you over the years?
Toys for my son.
Toys for your son? Did he ever give you money?
I don't remember.
You don't remember if he gave you money, or how much, or how often?
How often? No, I don't remember.
Alright. When you had the deposition with Johnny Cochran, did he ask you if you ever took something from?
Objection. Misstates the evidence. There were other lawyers involved.
Overruled. You may.
When you had the deposition, it was overruled, Your Honor.
It was overruled. Yes.
When you had the deposition with Johnny Cochran, did he or any other lawyer representing Michael Jackson ask you if you took something from Michael Jackson's room?
I don't remember.
Did they ask you about a watch?
Yeah.
Do you remember the watch?
Yes.
Did you have a watch from Michael Jackson?
Did he have it?
No. Did he ever give you a watch?
I got it from his room.
What kind of a watch are we talking about?
It was a toy watch. You know, like I think it was from one of his commercials or something.
Did you?
That I had it, and he look at it, and he say, oh, that's nice. And I say, yeah, I got it from your room. And he didn't. I told one of the housekeepers that oh, look what I got from his room. But I guess I used to get stuff from his room and.
Are you talking about promotional things?
Yeah, things like that.
What is a promotional item? What do you mean by that?
Like when he make a commercial. I think this watch was from Captain EO.
I'm sorry?
I think it was from one of his videos.
Did he have his name on it?
Yeah.
Did it have his picture on it?
Yes.
What was that watch worth, do you think?
About $10, probably.
At some time were you contacted by an attorney or did you retain an attorney?
Objection. Compound.
I'll withdraw the question. Did you ever retain an attorney?
I don't understand.
Oh. Did you ever hire a lawyer?
Oh. Did I personally went to a lawyer and say, no?
Okay. Do you know Terry Cannon?
Yes.
Do you know Chris Coleman?
Yes.
Do you know them to be lawyers?
Yes.
Alright. Did either of those two lawyers represent you?
Yes, at one time.
Did they represent Jason?
Yes.
How did that happen? How did you come into contact with these two lawyers?
Well, since I was felt like.
Objection. Relevance. 352.
Sustained.
Did Jason get subpoenaed to appear at a deposition?
Yes.
How old was Jason at that time? We forgot the tags. Would you mark the next two exhibits in order, please?
Probably about 12.
Did he actually get a subpoena to appear at a deposition?
No, they told me that they were going to subpoena him.
Was that at the end of your deposition?
Yes, they told me they want him and myself at another office. Not there, but another office. Mr. Cochran told me.
Alright. Were you concerned about Jason giving a deposition?
At that time, yeah.
Did you think he?
Objection. Leading. Move to strike.
Overruled. Next question.
What were your concerns about Jason giving a deposition?
Objection. 352. Foundation.
Overruled.
You can answer the question. What was your concern?
That he, being so young, that he was going to be embarrassed and teased by other kids.
Alright. At some point in time, did you talk with? Let me change that. At some point in time, did you agree to file a lawsuit against Michael Jackson?
Not at that time.
Do you know if there was some kind of a settlement with Michael Jackson's attorneys?
Yes.
Did you receive, and I'm not asking you how much, but did you receive compensation?
Yes.
Did you receive payment?
Yes.
Did Jason also receive payment?
Yeah, yes.
When did he receive his payment?
I believe it was his 18th birthday.
His 18th birthday? I had asked you a question about the watch from his room. Did Mr. Jackson ever talk to you about being able to take things if you wanted to?
He never told me that.
Did he say anything like that?
Oh, no.
There was no conversation about that?
He told me that sometimes people gave him things, and that he'd display it, and then, and then he would like to get rid of it.
Did you show him the watch?
Yeah. At one time I was wearing it, one of his jackets, and he told me that it was his jacket. And I say, yeah, I was cold. And he say, oh, that's okay.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I have two photographs previously shown to counsel. I'd like to show you these two exhibits, if I can. Exhibit number 781 and exhibit number 782. And do you see the numbers here? This is 781 and that's 782. I'm going to put them both in front of you.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll go back. 781, would you pick that one up, please, and tell us what that photograph is? Take a look at it.
That was one of his school pictures.
And who is he?
My son.
Your son Jason. How old was Jason in that photograph?
I would say about 10.
About 10 years old? Do you remember that photograph being taken?
No.
But you do recognize him?
Yes.
Is that an accurate photograph of Jason when he was about 10 years old?
Yes.
Alright, look at the another one now, please, I think 782. And what is that a photo of?
My son and I.
Alright, the two of you together?
Yes.
Alright, is that photograph dated?
Yes.
Whose handwriting is that?
Mine.
Okay, and what is the date on that?
1994.
And your son was? What was the month on that?
The month is March.
March? It's written in Spanish, is it not?
Yes.
But it's March 19th.
94.
94. And how old was he at that time?
About 14.
Alright, he would turn 14 in May of 94?
Uh-huh.
So he was 13 at the time, is that right?
13.
Is that photograph an accurate photograph of your son at that time?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move both of those exhibits into evidence.
No objection.
They're admitted.
I'd ask to publish them at this time.
All right.
We'll start with 781. Could we dim the lights, if we could? And could you take a look over your shoulder and tell us, is that the photograph that you identified?
Yes.
And how old was he at that time again?
About 10.
About 10. And then the second photograph, 782. And he was at that point 13?
Yes.
All right. Was that about the time that he was being interviewed by law enforcement?
Yes, I think.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Cross-examine?
Yes, please, Your Honor. If I may take a second, Your Honor, just to set up.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Ma'am, I'll say good morning, but I think it's afternoon. Okay? My name is Tom Mesereau and I speak for Mr. Jackson, okay? We met for the first time at the break, right? We've never spoken before that, right?
No.
All right. Now, if anything I ask you is unclear, please don't answer it, okay? Just say you don't understand, okay?
Okay.
And if you don't understand, I'll try and rephrase it.
Uh-huh.
To make it more understandable, okay? If you're not sure about what I'm asking, just don't answer. Just make sure it's clear in your mind what I'm asking for, okay? You know I'm on his side, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Jackson, all right? Now, you began working for Mr. Jackson in 1986, is that correct?
Yes.
And do you know approximately what month that was?
No.
Okay. And you stopped working for Mr. Jackson in approximately 1991, right?
Yes.
And you never worked for him since you stopped working in 1991, right?
No, I never went back.
Okay. Now, you testified that in the apartment owned by Mr. Jackson that you referred to as the hideout, there was no furniture, right?
Uh-huh.
Was there any bed in there at all?
No.
Okay. And approximately when were you cleaning that apartment as part of your work?
Do you mean how long would it take me to clean her?
No, let me rephrase it. During what period of time do you remember you were going to that apartment and cleaning it?
Probably a year. I don't remember.
And would you go to clean that apartment when Mr. Jackson was not there?
Yes.
Do you remember Mr. Jackson going on what was called a bad tour? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember Mr. Jackson produced an album and a videotape called Bad?
Yeah, yes.
And do you remember he was traveling on that tour from approximately September of 1987 to January of 1989?
Yes.
And during that period of time he was often out of the country, wasn't he?
Yes.
And he told you about where he was going, didn't he?
Yes.
He told you he was going to Japan, right?
Yes.
Australia, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of cities in America, right?
Yes.
New York, right?
Yes.
Indianapolis? Went to Texas? Georgia?
I'll object as beyond the scope of her knowledge. Lack of foundation.
I don't know.
I think she's answering she did know, Your Honor.
He told me he was on tour, but
There's an objection.
you know.
The only one she said she didn't know were the last two, so I'll overrule the objection.
So you knew he traveled to Italy on that tour, correct?
I'm going to object on lack of foundation or based on hearsay.
State of mind, Your Honor. I'll be happy to rephrase it if the court wants.
The objection is overruled.
Did you know that he traveled to Italy on that tour as well?
No.
How about Austria?
I don't remember.
And England?
I don't remember.
Do you remember he went to a lot of countries?
Yes.
On that tour? And he told you that, didn't he?
Yes.
And that tour lasted almost a year and a half, didn't it?
Not really. I didn't stop seeing him for a year and a half.
But he was out of the country much of the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he was out of Los Angeles much of the time?
Yes.
Now, you didn't often see him. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. Do you remember him staying overnight at the hideout apartment?
Yeah.
Okay. And he didn't like to invite other people to that apartment, right?
I'll object as speculative. Lack of foundation.
I'll rephrase. Do you know whether or not Mr. Jackson liked to keep his presence at that apartment private?
Objection. Speculative.
Overruled. You may answer.
I don't know.
Okay. But you didn't see him invite lots of people to that apartment, did he?
No, I didn't see many people.
Okay. And you were the only one that would clean that apartment, right?
Yeah.
And did you use to help Mr. Jackson prepare when he was leaving town for the bad tour?
Yes.
And what did you use to do for Mr. Jackson to help him?
Pack his stuff, his makeup, his clothes, and shine his shoes.
And he went on approximately 123 concerts during that period, didn't he?
I don't know.
I'm going to object as lack of foundation.
Do you know how many?
She said, I don't know, so next question.
Okay. When you used to clean the home at Havenhurst in Encino, okay. Havenhurst is a street, right?
Yes.
And that was where Michael Jackson's parents lived.
Yes.
Right? Did other family members live there at the time you were cleaning that house?
I think Janet was still there. And LaToya.
Okay. So to your knowledge, at the time you cleaned that house, his parents, Janet, LaToya and Michael were living there, right?
Yeah.
And would you go there every day?
Yes.
Okay. And were there other people besides you that cleaned the house?
Not at that time. They didn't have a housekeeper. I mean, they have one, but it quit after about 2 months.
Did you appear to be the primary house cleaner?
Well, while Mr. Jackson was on tour, I end up staying, cleaning the house too.
Okay. So when he was out of town, you would still go there to work, right?
Yeah.
Now, would you bring Jason there when?
Yes.
When Mr. Jackson was out of town?
Yeah.
And where would Jason typically be when you worked at the house while Mr. Jackson was out of town? Do you know?
Outside in the arcade room. At the house.
Okay. And would you see Mr. Jackson's parents when you used to clean the house?
Yes.
Okay. Would you see Janet?
Sometimes.
And how about LaToya?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. And what areas of the house did you use to clean?
The whole house.
Okay. Every day?
Yeah, if there was nothing else to do.
Now, how long did you work? Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. For how long a period of time did you clean the house at Havenhurst?
While he was on tour, I guess. I don't remember, but it was many months, because Bill Bray told me that at least it's going to be about 6 months that he was going to be out of the country, and either I be laid off or work at the house.
Okay. And did there come a point in time when you stopped cleaning the house on Havenhurst?
Yes.
And approximately when was that, if you remember?
No.
Okay. Was it 1986, do you think?
No.
1987?
1987, yeah.
Do you think it was 1987?
Yeah.
Okay. When you stopped cleaning the house at Havenhurst, you kept working for Mr. Jackson, right?
Yes.
And what did you do for Mr. Jackson after you stopped cleaning the house on Havenhurst?
Well, went back to my same routine. Cleaning his room and mainly being there. Even if I didn't have anything to do, he wanted me in his room.
Okay. And which room are you talking about now?
His bedroom.
Okay. His bedroom now?
In Encino.
In Encino. Okay. So Mr. Jackson would leave town, but always wanted you to still come to the house and do your work, right?
Yes.
And you said that Mr. Bray told you something about you might lose your work?
No. He told me that I either be laid off or, well, probably it's the same thing, or work at the house.
Okay. When you stopped working at the house on Havenhurst, what were you doing then for Mr. Jackson?
When I stopped working at the Havenhurst, do you mean at the house?
Yes. You kept working for Mr. Jackson, right?
Yes.
And what were you doing then?
The same thing I was hired to do for him. Pick up his clothes.
And where were you doing that?
Cleaning his room. At the Havenhurst.
No. No, after you stopped working at Havenhurst.
Oh.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
You worked at Havenhurst for a while, right?
Yeah.
And then at some point you stopped cleaning Havenhurst, didn't you? Is that right?
Yeah, but we still live there. I mean, he still live there at the Havenhurst.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm confusing you. There was a point in time when you didn't clean Havenhurst anymore. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
And approximately when was that, do you think?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, you did work at Neverland at one point, right?
Yeah, that was back after about 3 years.
And when you worked at Neverland, were you still working at Havenhurst?
When I still working.
I'm sorry?
At Neverland?
Yes. Let me rephrase the question. When you were working for Mr. Jackson at Neverland. Okay. Were you still doing work at the home on Havenhurst?
No.
You were working full-time at Neverland then, right?
No.
No?
I would go to the hideout.
Okay.
And sometime he will tell me to go to Havenhurst to get stuff, or retrieve something, or...
So when you were living at Neverland and working at Neverland, you still would sometimes go to Havenhurst, right?
Yes, sometimes.
But most of the time you did your work at Neverland, right?
Neverland in the hideout.
Okay. Now, Mr. Jackson was very generous to you, wasn't he?
Yes.
He gave you a couple of televisions, is that right?
Yes.
And you would also ask him from time to time if you could take something, and he would often say, yes, right?
Nods head up and down.
What are some of the things that you asked him that you'd like to have?
Knickknacks. And clothes. He gave me a couple of jackets from his tour, I think. I don't remember. There were a lot of stuff.
And did he give you any cash himself?
I don't remember.
Didn't he give you approximately $5,000 total at one point?
I don't remember.
Wouldn't he give you $500 or $300 or $200 at a time?
I don't remember.
Do you remember saying that in your deposition with Mr. Feldman?
Yeah, I probably did, yeah.
So let me ask you what you remember.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember Mr. Jackson giving you $500 or $300 or $200 at a time?
He probably did, but at this time I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember saying in your deposition that, in total, he may have given you $5,000?
I probably did.
Okay. Does that sound accurate to you?
Yeah, probably, I did. It wasn't that much, probably, but I don't remember how much he gave me.
Okay. But would you ask him for cash sometimes?
No.
Would he just volunteer and give it to you?
I don't remember that, you know. I think so, but I don't remember.
Okay. I'm probably not being clear. I'm asking why Mr. Jackson gave you money. Would you ask him for money once in a while?
I think I did. I don't remember.
Okay. But you do remember him giving you money from time to time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not sure of the total, right?
No.
Okay. And did he give you money from time to time during the entire period that you worked for him?
Someone, yeah.
Okay. And you don't recall him ever saying, no, if you ever told him you needed some money, did he?
No.
Okay. He always was generous with you with money, wasn't he?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Alright. Now, your deposition was taken in 1993, right? Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I think it was 94. I don't remember.
Would it refresh your recollection if I just show you the transcript with a date on it? Would that help you remember?
I mean, I'll read it in. I know that it was that, but I don't remember.
If you saw the transcript, might that help you remember? Would you like to see it?
Yeah, I mean, you can put whatever that you want to and I will say probably.
No, I don't want to do that. Would it help refresh your recollection?
No.
If I just show you the date on the deposition?
Your Honor, I'd be prepared to stipulate to the 2 dates of the transcript.
Okay, sure.
And the first date is December 15, 1993. Can't hear you. The first date. Turn it on. We make this complicated, don't we? The first date is December 15, 1993. The date of the second day of the deposition was January 11, 1994. I would so stipulate.
So stipulated.
All right. I'll approve that stipulation.
I do remember, 94. But I don't remember the dates.
Okay. Do you remember in your deposition saying you had never seen Mr. Jackson touch anyone improperly?
Yeah,
Do you remember saying you never saw him touch anyone?
Yeah.
You did say that, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. And in that deposition, you told the truth, right?
As I recall it at that time, yeah.
You told the truth at that time, right?
As I remember it.
Yes. And you were under oath, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that you had never seen Michael Jackson touch anyone in a sexual way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said at no time while you worked for Michael Jackson did you ever see him have sexual contact with anyone, right?
When I say sexual, I mean sexual.
But you did say under oath that you had never saw Mr. Jackson have sexual contact with anyone, right?
No.
Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that Mr. Jackson has a jacuzzi, right?
Where at? At the Havenhurst?
Well, let's start with Havenhurst.
Uh-huh.
Did Mr. Jackson have a jacuzzi at Havenhurst?
Yes.
And just tell the jury where the jacuzzi was, please.
It's outside his patio.
Okay.
Outside of his bedroom.
And did various family members use that jacuzzi?
No.
Did you ever see anyone use that jacuzzi at Havenhurst?
Only Mr. Jackson.
And it was outside?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see that jacuzzi from the house?
No.
Can you see it from any windows?
Not from the house. From, I think from up on the garage, you can see it, but it's not a bedroom.
Did you ever see Mr. Jackson in that jacuzzi at Havenhurst?
I remember one time.
One time seeing Mr. Jackson use the jacuzzi at Havenhurst?
Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't see anyone else ever use it?
There was a boy there.
Did you ever see his parents use the jacuzzi?
Whose parents? Michael?
Yeah.
No.
Did you ever see Janet use it?
No.
Ever see LaToya use it?
No.
Ever see anyone use it besides Mr. Jackson?
No.
Alright. Was there a jacuzzi at Neverland?
Well, inside his bedroom there is a bathroom with a jacuzzi in it.
Okay. And you saw Mr. Jackson use that jacuzzi, didn't you?
Yeah.
Is it downstairs or upstairs in his bedroom area?
Downstairs.
It's downstairs. Is that right?
His bedroom, yeah.
Okay. Now, the prosecutor asked you questions about Mr. Robson, okay?
Uh-huh.
And did you say that Mr. Jackson was sleeping on a bed in the lower level of his bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't see him sleeping in the bedroom on the upper level?
No.
And was it your belief that during the time you worked at Neverland, that Mr. Jackson only slept on the bed on the lower level?
Yes. There were times that the other bed was used.
Okay.
But I never saw him in that bedroom.
So you would see the bed upstairs used, but you didn't know who had used it, right?
No.
You would see the bed downstairs used, but you didn't know who used it, right?
It was time when it was just one bed was undone.
Sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
And sometimes there was a bed upstairs that seemed undone, right?
Yeah.
And you were responsible for making both beds, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever seen Mr. Jackson lying on his bed watching television?
Yeah, a couple of times.
How many times did you see Mr. Jackson lying on his bed watching television?
Probably a couple of times.
And you would see him watch videos also, right?
Yeah.
Were you often in Mr. Jackson's room when he was watching television?
No.
You typically cleaned his room when he wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
And it was your understanding that you were supposed to clean his room when he wasn't in there, right?
No.
Was it your understanding that you weren't supposed to go in when Mr. Jackson was in the room?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll unlock his room and he'll be there, and he'd tell me that it was okay to come in.
Okay. And sometimes you would unlock his door. He'd ask you not to come in, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time when you cleaned his room at Neverland, he wasn't in it, right?
Most of the time when he wasn't in?
Let me rephrase. During the time you worked at Neverland, most of the time when you cleaned his room, he wasn't in there, right?
Yeah.
You okay? Do you want some water?
Huh?
Do you want some water?
No, that's okay.
Was it your understanding that when you cleaned Mr. Jackson's room you were usually supposed to do it when he wasn't around?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you opened the door and he was in there, you would ask for permission to come in, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, his bedroom is a very big area, isn't it?
Yes.
How would you describe it?
Big.
Very big, isn't it?
Uh-huh, yeah.
And how do you get into his bedroom? Let me rephrase it. If you're going into Mr. Jackson's room, what do you have to do to get in?
Open the door with a key.
Okay. And is that what you would typically do?
Yes.
Was there any kind of a bell that would ring?
Yes.
And would the bell always ring when you entered?
Yeah. But it doesn't have a, it would ring just once.
Right. Just one ring?
And then close, yeah.
Would you then stop it? Would you shut the bell off?
I used to unplug it.
You unplugged it. Okay. So you'd hear a ring, and then you would unplug it. Is that right?
Well, you have to unplug it from the inside of the bedroom.
So you'd open the door, right, with a key?
Yeah.
The bell would go off, and then you would unplug it, right?
When I was there by myself, I used to unplug it.
Okay. And then it would stop ringing, right?
And it would stop ringing, yeah.
And then you would do your cleaning, right? Is that right?
No.
Tell me what.
I'll get there.
Yes.
And then, once I get there, I unplug it, because when people get close to it, it rings. But it rings, and then it rings one time, it doesn't ring anymore.
Okay. To stop it from ringing, you would unplug it?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Now, do you know who Quincy Jones is?
Yes.
And who's Quincy Jones?
A writer, I think.
Okay. And his daughter used to visit Michael, right?
At Havenhurst.
Beyond the scope of the direct, and irrelevant.
Overruled. Go ahead.
At Havenhurst?
Yes.
I think she was there a couple of times.
Her name was Kadada, right?
I don't know.
But you saw her visit Michael, correct?
Yes.
Do you know who Lionel Richie is?
Yes.
Did you ever see his daughter visit the Jacksons?
Not at Havenhurst.
Okay. Did you see her visit Michael?
Him I remember visiting.
You remember him visiting Michael. You don't remember his daughter?
No.
Okay. Before you testified today, did you meet with any prosecutor to discuss what you were going to be asked?
Yeah.
And when did that meeting take place?
Saturday.
And who did you meet with?
I don't remember his name.
Pardon me?
Ron, I think.
Prosecutor Zonen?
And another one.
Okay. And how long did the meeting take place?
Couple of hours.
And how many people were there meeting with you?
Just the two of them.
Did they tell you what they were going to ask you in court?
They went to what I say before.
Did they discuss the questions they were going to ask you today?
Kinda.
And did they discuss your answers with you?
No. They told me about, what I say in my deposition before, and if I remember, and there was stuff that I didn't remember.
Did they give you a copy of your deposition to look at?
No.
Did they appear to be reading from your deposition?
No.
Okay. Did they have any documents they showed you?
Yeah. They gave me a paper of things that I say when I talk to another detective.
Okay.
Not at my deposition.
Okay. So it was a paper that they gave you to look at?
Yeah.
And what was on that paper, if you remember?
When I talked to the other detectives, they came, at the beginning.
Okay.
The first time.
Do you remember meeting with a lawyer named Larry Feldman?
Yes.
And you met with Larry Feldman before your deposition was taken, right?
Yes.
And he came out to see you, didn't he? Let me rephrase it. Maybe you don't understand.
Yeah, I understand.
You do?
But I don't remember. Yeah, I think he did. He came to my house, I think.
He came to your house, didn't he?
Nods head up and down.
And he wanted to speak to you before your deposition was taken by him, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And obviously that was quite a while ago, right? Was that around 1993 sometime?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember how much time Larry Feldman spent with you?
No.
Do you remember if it was a long time?
I don't remember.
Okay. Was that the only time you met with attorney Larry Feldman?
No. Then I was taken to LA, and I.
Did you meet with him again?
Yeah, for the deposition.
Okay. And he was giving you some advice during the deposition, wasn't he?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Didn't he advise you from time to time during that deposition?
I don't remember. There were a lot of people talking to me at that one.
And he was one of them talking to you, wasn't he?
Yes.
And you said that deposition went more than a day, right?
Yeah, it was twice.
Okay. And was it after that deposition that you first spoke to an attorney named Terry Cannon?
That was after. After when Mr. Cochran told me that my son was going to be subpoenaed and I would have to bring him.
Okay. And then you went to hire an attorney, correct?
Then I talked to Terry.
Okay. And has he been your lawyer ever since?
Yes.
Okay. Has he been your son's lawyer ever since?
Yes.
Okay. When did you last talk to Terry Cannon?
I think it was December or November. I don't remember. It was in December.
Last December?
Last December.
Okay. Okay. And do you remember having a meeting with Prosecutor Zonen and Terry Cannon last year?
On December? It was Zonen? I don't know his last name. He was a tall guy.
Prosecutor Zonen, who you see right here.
Oh.
Do you remember meeting with him?
Oh, yeah, I think he was there, too. That's when they gave me that deposition.
Okay. Okay. In your deposition, you said that you had never seen Mr. Jackson molest a child, right?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Overruled.
In your deposition, you said under oath you had never seen Mr. Jackson molest a child, right?
Molest a child? No. Yeah, I say that.
Okay. Was it after that deposition that you were interviewed by hard copy?
No.
It was before?
Oh, before I met with him, at my deposition? No, that interview was before.
So the interview with hard copy was before the deposition?
Yes.
Right? And that's the interview you were paid $20,000
Yes.
to do, right?
Yes.
And that's the interview that you had your friend Evangeline help you arrange, right?
Yes.
And then after you were paid, you said you paid her some money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever talk to anyone from the National Enquirer?
No.
Is hard copy the only media
Yeah.
group that you ever met with?
Yeah. I guess someone tried to. Someone contacted me from National Enquirer, I think, and from Los Angeles Times.
In your deposition, you said the people from hard copy are not honest, right?
Yeah.
When did you last talk to anyone from hard copy?
When did I? Recently.
Let me rephrase it.
Uh-huh.
After your interview with hard copy, did you ever talk to them again?
No.
Okay. Did you tell attorney Larry Feldman that you were going to be interviewed by hard copy?
No.
And Evangeline worked at Neverland, right?
Yes.
Did you tell anyone else who worked at Neverland, besides Evangeline, that you were going to be paid to interview with hard copy?
No, not that I remember.
Now, at some point you learned. Let me rephrase that. Excuse me. Let me start again. After your interview with hard copy appeared on television. Okay. At some point you learned that other employees at Neverland now wanted to be paid to go on television to talk about Mr. Jackson, right?
Did I know that?
Yes.
No.
After you hired a lawyer.
Uh-huh.
You learned that other employees at Neverland started hiring lawyers, right?
All object. Lack of foundation. Speculative.
I don't remember that.
Wait. The objection's overruled.
Did you learn at some point after your hard copy interview was on television that now other people who worked for Michael Jackson were hoping they could make money doing media interviews like you did?
Objection. Speculative.
No, I didn't know that.
Overruled.
Did you discuss your hard copy interview with anyone besides Evangeline at Neverland?
I don't remember, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Who did you work for at Neverland?
Did I work for?
Besides Mr. Jackson. I mean, who did you work? Let me rephrase it. Obviously you worked for Mr. Jackson, but did you report to other people?
Did I report to other people? Oh.
As part of your job.
I was working as part of the household, housekeepers.
And who did you work with? Do you remember?
The workers? I don't remember their names. But I.
Okay, now, the hard copy interview was in 1993, right?
Yes.
It was in December of 1993, right?
Yes.
And you stopped working in 1991, right?
Nods head up and down.
So after you left, after you stopped working for Mr. Jackson, you stayed in touch with some people who worked for Mr. Jackson, right?
No.
What about Evangeline?
But she wasn't working there no more.
When did she stop?
Before me.
Was she in touch with people at Neverland?
Objection. Speculation.
To your knowledge.
Not that I know.
There's an objection.
To her knowledge. All limit it. She answered no, not that she knows.
Did you talk to any representative of the media before you had your deposition taken?
Did I talk?
Yes. Let me rephrase it.
Uh-huh.
And if I'm unclear, just tell me, and I'll try and say it again. You said your interview with hard copy was after the deposition, right?
No, it was before.
It was before. Okay. How long before it, if you know?
About a month.
Okay. Did you discuss the fact that you were going to be interviewed by hard copy with any attorney?
No.
Okay. Do you remember Evangeline saying to you, would you like to go to the National Enquirer?
I don't remember.
Pardon me?
I don't remember. I remember a guy called me, but he never told me that someone refer me or.
But didn't Evangeline suggest that you call the National Enquirer?
No.
She didn't. She didn't ask you, do you want me to find the Enquirer?
I don't remember that, no.
Would it refresh your memory if I just show you a transcript?
Uh-huh.
Of your deposition?
Oh, okay.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
May I approach?
Yes.
What page, counsel?
208. Have you had a chance to look at that page?
No. Oh, laughter.
You've had a chance to look at the page, right?
Did I what?
Have you had a chance to read that page of your deposition?
Before today?
No, today.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just showed you the page, right?
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to look at it?
Yeah.
And does it refresh your memory about what Evangeline said to you?
You know, tell you the truth, I probably did at that time. And I remember at the time, but this time I don't remember.
Okay.
Ma'am, speak into the mic.
Oops.
Didn't you tell Evangeline that you were willing to talk to the Enquirer?
I don't remember.
Okay. Would it refresh your recollection just to look at the page?
No.
It wouldn't. So even if you read the page, it won't help, do you think?
It won't help me.
Okay. But you don't remember what you said to Evangeline about talking to the Enquirer?
I don't even remember the whole sit. I don't remember.
Okay.
It was a lot. At that time, you know, it was.
Evangeline called hard copy for you, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think so.
And she did it for you, right?
Yeah, I think she did.
You wanted her to find a way to communicate with hard copy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you wanted to talk to either hard copy or the Inquirer, right?
I don't remember if it was either of them, but I remember that I say yeah.
Okay.
Because I think they approach her first, someone approach her. And she said, well, they want to talk to you, too. That's what I got.
Did you have an understanding with Evangeline that if she arranged these interviews for you, that you would pay her?
That I would pay her?
Yes.
No.
Did you believe she was just doing it as a friend?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't have any arrangement with her that you would split the money, right?
No.
You gave her some money later on because you appreciated what she had done for you, right?
Yeah, because of the trouble that she was going. You know, she did, yeah.
Okay, so you gave her money as a friend, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there was no understanding before the interview with her how much she would get.
No.
Okay. Now, Evangeline told you that she had reached Diane Diamond of hard copy, right? Is that right?
Yes.
And Evangeline arranged for you to meet with Diane Diamond, right?
Yes.
How many meetings did you have with Diane Diamond with hard copy?
I think it was just one.
Do you remember going to the Hilton Hotel?
Yes.
Is that where you saw Diane Diamond during a meeting?
Yes.
And that's the meeting Evangeline went with you to, right?
Yes.
You told Diane Diamond during that interview that you never told anyone that you had ever seen Michael Jackson molesting boys, right?
Yes, I believe so.
And it was Evangeline that negotiated how much money you were going to get, right?
Yes.
You learned that you were going to get $20,000 from Evangeline, right?
From hard copy.
Yeah.
Not from Evangeline.
Let me rephrase it to make sure you understand.
Yeah.
You learned from Evangeline that you were going to get $20,000 for the interview with hard copy, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Evangeline was supposed to speak to hard copy about the money you were going to get, right?
Yes.
So she was really your assistant, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Okay, if you remember, how long was the meeting at the Hilton Hotel with Diane Diamond?
About 3 hours, probably.
Okay, were there other people at that meeting as well?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Do you know if you were given a contract to sign?
I signed it, but I don't remember at what time I did, if it was during that time or after the interview.
But you did sign the contract with hard copy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
How did you get that contract?
How did I what?
How did you get a copy of that contract?
I guess they give it to me.
Okay, did Miss Diamond give it to you directly or did Evangeline give it to you?
No.
Pardon me?
Miss Diamond gave it to me, I think.
At the meeting?
I don't remember. It was in the room.
Okay, and you were asked to sign that contract in that room before you left, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that what you remember?
That's what I remember. I don't know.
Okay. The day after you were interviewed by hard copy, Miss Diamond called you again, right?
The day after?
Yes. The day after your interview with hard copy, Ms. Diamond called you again, right?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember her calling me, but I don't remember if it was the next day or...
Do you remember her wanting pictures of Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Ms. Diamond wanted you to get her pictures of Mr. Jackson, right?
I don't remember.
Do you remember that?
I think I give it to her, but I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember saying to Ms. Diamond you don't have pictures of Michael Jackson?
I don't ask that.
I'm sorry. I may not be explaining it properly. Let me just rephrase the question. I'll withdraw the question.
Uh-huh.
The day after you interviewed with hard copy, Miss Diamond called you on the phone, right?
I don't remember.
Well, after the interview with hard copy, do you remember at some point in time Miss Diamond called you?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember Miss Diamond ever asking you to get her pictures of Michael Jackson?
I don't remember, but I give it to her sometimes. Or one time, I guess, she got some pictures of him.
And was that part of your contract with the show Hard Copy, that you would give them pictures?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And when they paid you $20,000, was part of what you had to do to give them pictures?
Yes, I guess.
Do you remember sending any pictures of Mr. Jackson's animals to Hard Copy?
I think all the pictures I got, I give her, it was me with animals, probably. But it was me mostly. Not of animals.
Did you send pictures of Mr. Jackson's lion?
No.
How about his tiger?
Not, I was in the picture, but it wasn't by itself of the
Okay.
tiger.
You gave Ms. Diamond a picture of your son with Mr. Jackson, right?
With Mr. Jackson? I don't remember, but no, I don't remember.
Would it refresh if I just show you the transcript of your deposition?
Uh-huh.
Okay. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Page number, counsel?
231.
231?
Have you had a chance to review that page of your deposition?
Yes.
And you said under oath during the deposition that you gave Ms. Diamond a picture of your son and Mr. Jackson, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you didn't think people would notice your son on the show, right?
Yeah, probably, yes.
You said in the deposition you didn't think anybody would recognize who your son was on the Hard Copy show, right?
Yeah, probably I said that.
That's what you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at some point, you called Diane Diamond and she didn't return your calls, right?
Yeah.
You called her because you thought she had lied, right?
She had lied?
Yes.
I didn't I thought that Hard Copy interview thing was going to be shown on Hard Copy, and then I see my pictures everywhere, and even in the National Enquirer, and that's what I thought that it was. You know, I didn't know that they can sell the story to someone else. That's how I felt.
Do you remember telling Ms. Diamond that you had other pictures from Neverland Ranch?
I don't remember.
That you could get? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember.
Do you remember Miss Diamond telling you she could send a messenger to get other pictures that you had of Mr. Jackson?
I don't remember that.
Okay. You gave Ms. Diamond pictures of Mr. Jackson after your interview, right?
I don't remember.
You don't remember if you gave the pictures before or after the interview?
No. After, of Mr. Jackson? No.
Okay. I'm asking you when you gave pictures to Miss Diamond. Was it before the interview or after it?
Oh, I think it was after.
The prosecutor asked you questions about Wade Robson. Okay?
Uh-huh, yes.
Do you remember saying in your deposition that you saw Mr. Robson sleeping in Mr. Jackson's bed?
Yes.
Do you remember you were asked how many times you saw that, and you said, maybe twice?
I don't remember that I say that, but I think that's what it was.
Maybe twice?
I remember. I don't remember what I say at the time, but I think that was the time. That was the times.
So you think you saw Mr. Robson in Mr. Jackson's bed maybe twice?
Yeah.
And you think you saw Mr. Jackson in a shower with Mr. Robson one time, right?
Yes.
But you said the shower was fogged up and you couldn't really see, right?
I saw the figure.
You saw the figure. And you heard a lot of laughing, right?
Yeah.
And you thought they were playing, right?
Yes.
In your deposition, you said under oath you couldn't tell whether they were touching each other or not, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember meeting Joy Robson, who is Mr. Robson's mother?
Yes.
When did you first meet Joy Robson?
I don't remember.
Do you know about when it was? What year?
No.
Okay. You told the jury that you walked into the door at the hideout apartment and saw your son on Mr. Jackson's lap one time, right?
Not at the hideout.
Where was it?
Havenhurst.
Okay. And you said your son was reading a book?
Nods head up and down.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. The prosecutor asked you questions about finding money in your son's pants, right?
Uh-huh.
You found the money in his pockets, correct?
Yes.
Have you ever seen that hard copy interview that you did?
No.
Okay. Has anyone from the prosecution tried to show it to you?
No.
No? Okay.
I saw little hints. One day I got home and they were showing, like little parts, what they going to show the next day. That's what I saw.
Okay. Do you remember stating that you thought Michael Jackson was very childlike?
Yeah, yes.
He very often acted like a child, in your mind, right?
Yes.
Do you remember saying that he would let his chimpanzee sleep in his room?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The chimpanzee's name was Bubbles, right?
Yes.
And Bubbles would sometimes stay in Mr. Jackson's room, right?
Yes.
You talked about Bubbles wearing a diaper, right?
Yes.
You said the monkey didn't like the diaper, right?
Yeah.
And you would often clean after the monkey was in Mr. Jackson's room, right?
Yes.
You said at one time Bubbles got too old and then there was another monkey, right? Right?
I remember. I don't remember about the other monkey, but it was Bubbles.
Mr. Jackson and a lot of children used to play with the monkey, didn't they?
At Havenhurst he only had Bubbles.
Okay. But children would come and play with the monkey, wouldn't they?
Not at Havenhurst, just one time.
Where would you see Bubbles?
At Havenhurst, I think.
Okay. Did you ever see Bubbles at Neverland?
I don't remember. I think it was bigger at that time.
Okay. But he was at Neverland, right?
He was at Neverland? I don't remember.
Okay. But you would often at Neverland see Mr. Jackson playing with kids, right?
Yes.
He would play with kids all the time, wouldn't he?
Yes.
And kids would often visit Neverland, right? Is that true?
Yes.
Excuse me, let me rephrase that. Do you remember a dance room where Mr. Jackson used to do dance routines?
A what?
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase it. Do you remember a dance room?
Oh, a dance room, yeah.
Where Mr. Jackson used to practice dance routines.
Where at? Neverland?
Anywhere.
Yes.
Where was the dance room?
Behind the theater.
At Neverland, right?
Yes.
And you used to see Mr. Jackson go there and practice dance, right?
Uh-huh.
You also saw Mr. Jackson teaching children to dance, right?
Playing with the kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he used to teach children how he dances, right?
I don't know if it was the children, but I see him with the kids.
Okay. In the dance room, right?
In the dance room, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever discussed your son's claim that Mr. Jackson improperly touched him with your son? Have you ever had a discussion about that?
At one time, back in '94.
Okay. You talked to your son about what he said.
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
I say, what's going on? And he say, I just don't want to talk about it.
This was in 1994?
94, I think so.
Have you ever discussed with your son his claims about Mr. Jackson?
No.
Never?
No. I asked him that I was going to ask his counselor.
Okay.
And he say no.
Okay. So you've never discussed
No.
your son's claims with him?
No.
Okay. Have you had a meeting with Prosecutor Snedden?
Yeah, one time.
And approximately when was that?
93, I think.
Okay. Have you met with Mr. Snedden since 1993?
No.
Okay. Have you had any meetings with any sheriffs to discuss your testimony?
Other than, no.
Okay. Have you ever had a meeting with any sheriff about what you're going to say today?
Other than Saturday, that, they told me that I was going to come here.
Okay. Was any lawyer at that meeting?
No.
Okay.
Shall we take our break?
Okay.